Hello guys and welcome to Cold Wans. If you're not familiar with what Cold Wans is, Cold Wans is a 5-minute cold plunge into the post-plunge warm-up where we get to know our guest. On the note of our guest, today's guest will be Aiden Chisholm. On you come.
Hi everyone.
So, how's your day been, mate, so far?
Not done much, to be honest.
Nah, there's nothing wrong with that, mate, you know what I mean? There's plenty to come from this.
I know.
Have you ever done an ice bath before?
Not these kind of ones, but like a cold bath.
Yeah, okay, sorted. That works for me. Because a lot of people come onto this with no experience at all and they get very much shocked when they get in it. So, well, works for me. Anything else you want to say?
Not really, no.
Well, let's get on with it then. I'd just like to add as well while I go in here, guys, my tub is looking rather gyro nowadays, but I will be getting a new one for the next Cold Wans episode. To be fair, you're acting alright to it.
It's my chest.
Just take a little minute to breathe. Right. So today's topic that I've got for Aiden is, do you think that there is like a certain age that you should start to be thinking about maturity, maybe what you're going to be doing with the future in your life in the future, and like whether there is like an actual borderline age that you should be looking for to be at that point in your life, or if it just let it happen?
I think there's stages to it.
Right.
Like, you should be like, maybe like 16, 18, you have like a rough idea, like
Yeah.
where you want to go in life and that. But you should like have fun in that, you're like a child in that.
Absolutely.
Like you should like maybe your late 20s and that, you should maybe still have like things together, like a job in that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think you're right there, especially I think there's, when you see different stages, well, I think there's also like kind of stages where you don't actually know, but you think you know what you want to do. You know what I mean? So like, I would say 16 to 18 is where you have a kind of a rough idea of what you want to do. And at one point, I wanted to go and do loads of stuff within biology and stuff. I've not got an absolute clue about biology anymore, and I don't really care for it anymore. You know what I mean? And that was like my younger kind of ages where I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to look for my life in the future. And I went to college and stuff, didn't enjoy it, backed out of that, and obviously I'm still working within where we are now.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Like, once you get a bit older, and I think once you hit about 20, 21, you should really be thinking about where you want to go. And it's the same kind of maturity. I think up until that point, you're still saw as like a teenager, young. You know, you get to enjoy your life, do what you want to do. But I think once you hit about 20, 21, you should be really coursing yourself towards what you want to do. You know what I mean? Because once you get to about 25, I think it's almost too late for you to kind of pick up the pieces. You've only got so much time, you know what I mean? And adulthood, especially with how expensive it is nowadays, you really need to get yourself in fucking gear way before it's too late.
Yeah. I feel like myself personally, like I thought I was going to go to uni for like, well, at college first and uni. But I'm going to take a gap year now because I feel like I want to travel for like a settle down for like a career rest of my life.
I see, the thing is, that's a good thing as well. Like, if you have that goal where you know you want to do something before you get to where you want to be, that's also really important, because traveling and stuff like that is so good for your mind. It's good for when you come back, you're motivated to do these things, and that is something that a lot of people don't go into the headspace with. Like, you come out of school, you go to uni straight away, and then you get to a point where you go first, second year, and you just leave because you're so crashed out, because you've not give yourself time, you've not really thought about it, you've just went for it because you felt like it was the right thing to do. And that's a lot of people fall into that problem. That's probably why I didn't enjoy what I enjoyed doing after school, and that, because school was a rough one for me as well, as it was. So like, when you go from having a rough time in education, then going to further education, which is way more difficult because you're more by yourself, you're isolated, you're kind of still get help from your lecturers and stuff, but it's not the same. And I think that's where a lot of folk do fail, honestly. Like, and that's probably also why you get a lot more people where they don't kind of grow up till they're way later, because then they realize, shit, money is money. It's hard to do things without like good amounts of money. Like, you don't want to be struggling the rest of your life, so then you go for it. And as I say, after you're 25, I mean, you can still bring it back. Yeah. But
it's quite difficult.
It's a difficult one, because a lot of jobs in that especially don't want older people.
Yeah.
They want the younger ones to train them up to how they want them to be, and then they mature into their job title, you know what I mean?
I was thinking like uni lifestyle, it's like a lot of like partying and that. You keep going, you know, you want to go out all the time with your pals and that. I feel like just stick to that the whole life then.
That's another thing as well. I know we went over the 5 minutes, we'll deal with that at the same. But like, the uni lifestyle is definitely a confounding variable in why folk go to uni. It's not because they want to get further education, it's because they want to live that life. And great, understand that, but to be fair, for me, I lived that life before I even got to the point of needing uni. Like, from like 15 onwards, I was just always out, you know what I mean? So to me, it wasn't ever that important, and you also just put yourself in a hell of a lot of debt for nothing. You know what I mean? If you're not going for the job, it's craziness. I mean, everyone has their own lives. They'll live it in their own ways, and hopefully everyone gets to a point where there's still people in your life that won't be mature after a certain amount of time. But everyone will eventually get to a level of maturity where you're like, okay, fair enough. You're there, but you're not where you want to be. It's a whole, that topic's a whole big wide fucking wide on. It's all down to personal preference at the end of the day, innit? And it's all down to how your life gets ran and stuff like that as well. But we've run up our 5 minutes already.
That's quite quick.
That was so quick. That's the quickest 5 minutes I've ever had. Like, but it is what it is. So, we're gonna go into the post plunge warm up, where it's a little bit less wet and a little bit more warm. And we're gonna go into the water, and we'll see you there. So that's us into the post plunge warm up. It was ice bath for you.
It was actually good. I enjoyed it.
It's one of those things where, like, until you do it like properly, like in one of those things that are made for it, it's such a weird like thought of the experience. But then once you get in it, it's a bit of a shock. And then once you dealt with that, it's actually so lovely. Like
5 minutes went past real quick.
I know, 5 minutes did go past really quick. We must have had a good topic today, like, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, so I'm gonna kind of change up the way that the cold or the post plunge is done, and it's going to run off 2 main questions for the start, and then once you've spoke, then I'll ask you questions about what you've answered within those questions, okay? So the first question I'm going to ask you is, how's kind of your life been over the last year or two?
Just not really, I mean, eventful. I've been traveling quite a lot, but just really college work, then travel in between. That's been it really.
Where have you travelled?
Last year I went, I'll go in order. So I started in Milan, then Rome. That's for like 5 days in total, then Budapest for 3 days. Then went to Maga with the lads.
Yeah, Maga with the lads, gotta be.
Then after that I went to Portugal, in Lisbon and Faro. Then Berlin.
Ah, it's gotta be.
Then I ended in Nice and Monaco. Then that was last year. This year I've only been to Portugal again. Then, or was it just Ibiza? How was it?
Ibiza. It's a holiday that I wish I had done before I became a Christian boy, but I didn't. So I'll probably never go to Ibiza now in my life.
I feel like you could do it without like drink. To be fair, like without that.
No, to be fair, I probably would drink. Like I'm not against drinking. It's more. I'll never take drugs again.
Yeah.
And that. I swore an oath to myself, like, and that's I'll stand by that. I'm not gonna fall for anybody's trying to make me do it. Like, it's not gonna happen. Peer pressure doesn't go work into my head anymore. But yeah, so what did you get up to in Berlin? Because Berlin's one of the places I've always wanted to go.
The clubs were really strict because one night, first night we got into a club. That was good music, just techno. Basically everywhere techno.
Berlin's gotta be.
Second night, we weren't allowed in any clubs at all.
Oh really?
Yeah, like we tried 4 different clubs, weren't allowed in.
Why not?
They just said no. They don't give you a reason. They just say no.
You don't get to argue that. That's fair enough, man. That's so strange. I didn't know they were strict. Is it to do with like? Do you think it was to do with like the nationality, or do you think it was just because you were?
I think
like, younger. I don't know.
Young or the dress code.
Dress code.
Because the night of that, day after that, went to H&M and bought some clothes, like black type clothes. So I got into less easy.
Oh really?
After that.
That's because they all wear like the big leather fucking mad leather outfits and they all dance like 2-step dancing, man. Oh, some of the videos I saw in Berlin are crazy, man.
It was good, like.
It is. That's a place that I want to go as well. But I could definitely get away with going there because it's like more of a city break than Ibiza is like an island holiday. You know what I mean? Well, so I mean, like, what is it you get out of traveling that you really enjoy doing it for? Like, is it?
I don't know. My mom asked the same thing. I just enjoy it. Like,
there's nothing wrong with that answer. Like, to be fair, like, I can understand why you would like it. Like I was saying when we were in the ice bath, it's kind of like, it's like a way to kind of switch off from the world as well, because you're away from your own kind of place of living. And the UK can be really dull sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, like very dull.
To be honest.
Like, I enjoy living here, and we're quite lucky for like what we do get given, like free healthcare and all this. There's a lot of like pluses to living here. Minus the fact we get taxed like all of our money, because like loads of other countries have found a way to make it not so expensive to live, although their economy is also worse off for when you get paid because it's worthless, but it doesn't matter. But there is definitely something, because like even me, like, before this year, I'd only went on 2 holidays my whole life. I went to Boston and I went to Copenhagen. And this year, so far, I've went to Tenerife, Rome, and I'm planning to go away in September again. So that's me done 3 holidays in this 1 year over that 2 years, like the whole year before, like life before that, 2 holidays. and I think I found a love for it because see when you start going away, especially yourself, like when I went away, we just had it. There's something about like that independence as well, just being away and having to look after yourself without dying in an outside country. You know what I mean? And like it's good to see the culture and like kind of the way that they live there as well.
Yeah,
like,
I mean different folk as well. So like when I went to Portugal myself last year, I went myself. It's like say the hostels. I met loads of different folk. That was really good.
I've actually never thought about that. Like a lot of people do say that that's a good way to do like a holiday, especially if you're on your own, like going to the hostels, getting to know other people and that. Did you end up like coming out with like pals, like lifelong pals, you would say?
Not lifelong pals. I've not really spoke to that many since.
Oh,
I met some really good friends.
So you could definitely come out with lifelong friends.
Yeah, easily.
Well, there's an experience for you all to go for. Go for a wee hostel holiday.
Especially with me, because I feel like I'm quite a reserved person.
Yeah.
And I do want my comfort zone there.
Yeah.
I don't have a choice. I just went for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. To be fair, you're quite you're a more quiet guy, I would say. Until maybe you're on holiday. I don't know what you're like on holiday, like, but you're definitely a bit more quiet, like. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that though. If you're quite a reserved person, you can go out there and at least show yourself out.
Yeah.
Go for it, man.
Let's go for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, what about college? How's college going for you?
Well, I mean, I passed both years to be fair, but last year I didn't enjoy it at all. I just saw it out to the end.
So how many more years you got that? Like 2? 1?
I'm uni now for the next 2 years.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So uni for the next 2 years. Are you looking more forward to that, or are you just
No,
you're looking?
I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Oh, really?
No.
See, that's really unfortunate because that's like what we're talking about in there as well. Like when you go in for uni and then you start to not like it, but like when you're 2 years in, you feel like you can't leave. That's the problem because you've been in it already for so long.
Not that long left. So
Yeah.
we'll just look at it.
Yeah, 2 years. I mean, as long as you pass everything, like
Yeah.
you're doing all right. And if you get a career out of it that you're wanting to get into, I suppose you can't really grumble. I mean, it might be a painful 2 years, but you'll get through it. I know you will. So, I mean, we've definitely cleared up that first question. So the second question I'm going to jump you onto is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, or what is your like lifelong goals?
Next 5 years, I see myself finishing like where I want to travel to in the world, and then finishing uni. I see my next 5-year plan.
That'll be 20. You'll be 25 then, or
Yeah,
almost 25.
I just should know. Yeah, I'll 25.
So there you go. So by the time you're 25, you'll have done all the things that you want to do right now, which is that's a good goal to
Hopefully.
have. I mean, yeah. I mean, you're never going to travel everywhere you want to go because you want to go everywhere. That's what traveling is all about. You know what I mean? You want to see everything. You want to find out all the new cultures and that. But it's almost impossible within 5 years unless you've got unlimited money to make it around the whole world in that amount of time. So, yeah, there is that. But I know it's a good goal to have, like especially the traveling thing. Like you were saying, nice path. It's good for your mind. It's good to get yourself set up for them when you want to actually get into a job and stay in that career. But yeah. I mean, so is there anything else in the 5 years, or like even longer term than that, you want to see yourself? Like, what's your ideal job and stuff that you're looking for?
Honestly, I wouldn't want to be working 9 to 5 my whole life. I kind of want to like maybe work for myself.
Yeah.
Like go to work where I want when I want. That's really what I want to do.
That's everyone's goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to be everyone's goal. I mean, yeah. See, the thing is with that, it's what are you doing at college just now?
Cybersecurity.
Well, you could definitely turn that into your own thing, though. Like that's definitely a possibility. But like with these things, it takes so much grit and willpower to actually get yourself to a position where you could like live that life where you're working. You don't work really. You work whenever you want to work, which is never because you get money basically without doing anything. And that is like the ideal world. Like that's my whole ideology with PTing as well. I want to go out there. I'll do the nitty-gritty stuff of working on the floor with other people for a while, like happily get some experience and stuff. But then hopefully in like a 2 years time, I can then move to doing stuff myself.
Yeah.
Like maybe not 2 years, maybe even less than that. It just depends how you get going with starting your PT and stuff and that for me. Whereas with cybersecurity, I've not got a fucking clue where you start with that.
There's just so many different like sectors and stuff that you can go into.
Yeah.
It's basically everything within like computers and that.
Yeah. I didn't even know you'd done that, to be fair. Like I knew you were at college and I knew you were going to uni or any of the two of them. I knew one of them.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you'd done cybersecurity. I don't know what I thought you would have done. I don't know. When I think of Aiden Chisholm, what do I think he would do? I don't actually know, to be honest.
I'd assume everyone would think IT or something.
Yeah, maybe. Nah, I thought like science or something, to be honest. That's what I thought you're pulling out the fucking bag, like. But that's fair enough, man. So, we'll move on to like your fucking hobbies and shit because I tried to do the post plunge differently. I tried to let the guest run the thing before, and it either worked
Or doesn't.
or it doesn't. It just depends who you've got on, because folk sometimes can just chalk up a whole life story and they're happy to let that happen. But then other people need like a pushing kind of questions to direct and stuff. So I know that you're quite into your football and stuff.
Yeah.
Jog on a bit about football. Do you play? Do you fucking just go and watch that shit? What's your football life all about?
I don't play football anymore, unfortunately. I quit when I was 14 or 13. I just got fed up with it back then, and then after lockdown I kind of got back into it again.
Yeah.
But before that, I kind of just played for the local team from like 7 years old. I was really playing Sunday league till 13.
Yeah, a bit of Sunday league football.
Yeah, but I was like the smallest guy, so like it was really, really difficult for me because I was like small and weak compared to like everyone else, like a lot taller than me. Until I eventually grew when I was like 15. As soon as I grew, I quit. I was like, it was so annoying for me.
And they're like, he'll be too good at football. Get him out of the team. Nah, fair enough, man. Nah, to be fair, I think everyone's hobbies when they're younger are kind of like one of those things where, like for me, I'm not a fucking care in the world about Muay Thai and stuff until I got to about 20, and then I started doing it. But like with football, I was the same when I was young. I feel like that's one of like the normal things that your family tried to push you towards, because it's quite a normal hobby for kids to have. You know what I mean? It's not a very aggressive one as well, like boxing or fighting or something like that. So
some people are aggressive with it.
Yeah, but I suppose but that's fair to be honest. But that just depends who you're on the pitch with at the end of the day. But like I feel like a lot of families at younger ages push their kids kind of into football and stuff like that. It's a great sport, to be fair, in almost every way, for like your physical to your mental to just every single sort of fitness for you. Absolutely class stuff. Like, but it's definitely a very common thing for people to get pushed into, and it's also a very common thing for folk when they grow up to leave. Yeah. And I think it's because I don't know the real reason, to be fair, because I was about the same. I played football till I was like, maybe not even that old, to be honest. Maybe 13 or something. I remember playing it though. Like I've got memories of all the times going onto the pitch and stuff. I think I played for, it was Blackburn or Roxburn or something at one point, the youths. And it was like it's an enjoyable thing to do at the end of the day. Like, but see when life gets ahead of you, and like unless you're really into it, I wouldn't have time for stuff like that.
I think like everyone has the dream of being professional. Yeah. But then I feel like you get to a certain age where like you're not gonna make it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think you have to either put all your time into it, or put none of your not put into it for fun, but don't put all your time into it just to make like a bum fucking career out of it, because there's no point. If you're wanting to make it in something like that, you need to put your life into it straight from the get go, as soon as you get the opportunity, because I think, especially with like who's at the top of the fucking chain in football, you're gonna struggle regardless, unless you're actually really good. And the thing is, there'll be hundreds of other like generic boys that are the exact same skill level as you are, so you have to be above them. Yeah. So it's like it's one of those things. Football's one of those ones where it is a struggle. Whereas like for me, Muay Thai, I could go into that like my age, and if I start doing fucking amazing, they would give me good fights, and I would start getting money from that. But football, you can't just start when you're 20. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you need to start.
It's so popular as well. Yeah. It's like such a high skill set into it.
I know. It's all about that skill set that you bring into the. You have to be very, very not generic. You know what I mean? You have to be fucking completely different from the rest, and it's definitely a hard thing to get right as well. Like no matter how much I used to practice football, I just could never like.
Yeah, I was like never near the best in the team at all. That you played.
I used to, like when I was younger, I used to put hours into it as well. I just never got really better. You know what I mean? It's probably just maybe I don't know, man. Football's one of those ones where you do either get it right or you just don't. Yeah. So I suppose there's that. What about watching football? Like were you not the?
Oh yeah, I was in Germany.
I was in Germany to watch the football.
Yeah, I was there for the Euros. It was an experience apart from Scotland.
Classic Scotland.
Letting me down. But it was a good experience, to be fair, because I had to like travel so much even to get there. Like, I had to travel to London and London to Austria. I got a bus from Austria to Germany.
Oh really?
Because it's so much cheaper than just flying straight to Germany.
Oh, because it was
like £250.
That's crazy, man. To be fair, I would love to have been there for the fucking vibe there, like the crowds of Scotland. Because like I heard that everyone was. I was actually watching a wee TikTok or something, and folk were like, "Who are your favourite fans that came over to Germany?" And it was Scotland.
Yeah, all the German folk loved this. Like, exactly. Great.
But I think it's because we bring good vibes. You know what I mean? Scottish sometimes get a bad rap for being like aggressive, like kind of I don't know, just like a pain in the arse, trouble causers.
Yeah.
But it's usually England that is the
Yeah.
case for it. It's like it's the UK gets bammed into one, and Scotland's usually the ones that are like, oh, they're the bad ones, but we're not actually. We're usually the sound ones. We're the ones that get on with everybody. We just want to.
It's weird because like here, like when like old Formula stuff happened for Scotland, it's like there's like lots of violence, but when they all go together, but like Scotland is.
Ah, but that's because Scottish rubbing off Scottish is just never a good thing, man. We're very hearty people, like, and when it comes down to people being wide, man, sometimes it's not great. Like, but I mean, that's also to do with like what Catholic and Protestant and stuff like that as well. So there is reasons behind all the football, like the old firm football and stuff, always being so messy. But it's a crazy whole thing, man. Can't believe they got knocked out in like what the knockouts. Oh wait, no, did they make it to the knockouts?
No, they didn't make it the groups.
Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't even make it to the groups. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
But barred 5-1 the first game.
You know what? They came with heart, and that's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. Oh man, what about gym for you? I know you go to the gym and that quite a lot. So you've actually made a lot of improvement, and kind of you've definitely climbed up your ladder from the last time. I remember like. I don't know if it was like a year ago. It was definitely last Christmas or something. Before that, maybe. And I saw you, and you were bench pressing like whatever you were bench pressing. Maybe like same as Mark, like tens a side or something. I was like, good form in that. You were doing all right. And then I came in. You're now at what? I don't know what your bench at now, but
last time I done it was 65. That was months ago. I've not been benching ages to do.
I know, but 65 in comparison to the tens even last Christmas. Like bench is a hard one to build up because you need to be so consistent with it. Like I used to be at like 100 kg. And I went back after like 3 months and I couldn't even lift like 70. So it's like, it's being so consistent with a bench press, to be fair. So like seeing even like what was that, a 25 kg increase from the last time I saw you, it's good, mate. You know what I mean? You're pushing for it. And that's...
The hardest thing about me for the gym isn't the gym, it's like my eating part. Actually, I'll go like a good week, like I'll be eating like a good amount of calories and that, and the week after I'll be terrible.
Oh, really?
It's hard for me to stay consistent with it. I
mean, I can understand why, to be fair. Like, eating's definitely one of those... I think that's a very big variable for a lot of people, you know what I mean? Because it's such a hard thing to get right as well, because there's so much miscommunication on social media and stuff of what's the best thing to do as well. I mean, you ever watched that Adi Abu guy?
Yeah.
Eddie Abu, not Adi. Eddie Abu, he's unreal. To be fair, he's actually changed my eating habit. I already ate really healthy before, but he changed my eating habits even more. Because, like, he's right though, like, eating just straight fucking good food, it's the best way to go. Like, that's why I feel so good all the time. And you notice, one time I went to the gym, I went for a wee McDonald's first before going, and I felt like fucking shit. See, every time I eat my meal prep and then go down there, I feel great. I feel like I can lift heavier. I feel like my energy levels are so much higher. I don't sweat as much and stuff like that. There's just loads of like good variables that come out with eating healthy. You know what I mean? You feel better, which is how you need to feel when you're trying to look after yourself at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
To eat McDonald's every time. I still do it.
See, but the thing is, right, I don't see the problem with like eating shite to gain weight. I completely understand that, and sometimes for a lot of people that is the easiest way to go about it, and I completely understand that. It's just like, I think if folk eat like that as well, eating healthy is actually really expensive. Like I went down to Morrison's and I got like 3 days worth of meal prep and meat just alone for like a tenner. That's not a lot of money, like if you think about it, but that's like your lunch.
Yeah.
So that's a tenner just for the meat. Never mind everything else is going with a tenner for your lunch for 4 days. And I was like, that's crazy, because no wonder folk don't eat healthy. You know what I mean? It's hard.
It's more expensive to eat healthy than eat rubbish.
Exactly. And it's not even like, I tried to like make a way to price it so it would make more sense. Like you buy more and you get it cheap, like it works out cheaper and stuff. But even that, like you're still spending like £40 a week on like healthy food.
Yeah.
Which is not like, no wonder so many families nowadays struggle to eat healthy, or they don't even eat healthy at all, because it's so much easier to get like crisps. Cheapest crisps you can buy as a snack for your house, or like buying in like McDonald's is even cheaper per meal. If you bought that every single day for a family against buying like food in, it would probably work out cheaper, which is fucking insane. Like, it just, mate, life is so fucked.
It's stupid.
It's so fucked now. That's why I then get to the point where we're in the ice bath, we're talking about where you have to find yourself, because I think if you realise all these things now and you try and push against that and get yourself in a better place, you won't struggle with it as much. And I think that's what a lot of people need to try and get. The thing is, there's loads of opportunities for folk to make money out there.
Yeah,
it's just people don't take the right steps, or they don't take the steps they need to take to get there.
I feel like a lot of folk like just watch about it rather than just do it. That makes sense.
I mean, I also understand why watching it is obviously way easier than doing it.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, like, watching it, they make it sound so easy, but see, when you actually do it, it's not even just the actual steps you need to take to put the money where you need it to be to then get money. It's the mental fight you have to go against with yourself to be like, this is going to work. Because a lot of folk only fall through because they go, if I need to put money into this to get money, what if that money doesn't come back?
Yeah.
And that's the fight that everyone goes through because they don't believe in themselves or believe in what they're doing.
I think it's like an overnight success when it's like maybe like a year or two to even get to there.
No, literally, it's the thing is as well. Like, it's trial and error with money to make money. Like, obviously, I think, is it your friend? Your friend gets involved with a lot of like trading and stuff like that. So that's something that I think a lot of people, especially now because it's so saturated on like social media, people be like, oh, I'll be your mentor and I'll do this and that. So that's why I think a lot of people do not do it, because the thing is, how many of these mentors are really there to make you money? They might make you money, but they're not really, that's not their prime thing. They're using you to get themselves money, realistically. There's all these different ways of like, because like Shopify and stuff for dropshipping now have specific partnerships with people that then get people to do things
with Shopify.
So, yeah, so that they then make money, but then they get more people on their app, which then makes them money.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's how they work. So that's why whenever I see someone like, oh, I don't work, I work for free. I'm like, you're lying. So I think when folks see that on social media, there's instantly this veil put over it where everyone's like, oh, they're just trying to scam you.
Yeah.
But there is 100% ways to make money online. It's not easy, but there's so many ways. Like, whether it's through content creation, you will make money eventually if you do well. And that's to come.
Like, even if it's just like a couple hundred or a couple thousand extra a month, like, it's still very helpful.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. Like, it's not about making all this money as well. Like, I think, especially with trading and stuff, you need to put quite a bit of time into it, especially at the beginning, until you really know what you're going for. Because, and it's obviously, trading's a very, very big money in, money out sort of situation. And if it goes wrong, money in, money never come back situation. So I think that's also probably why a lot of folk don't go for it. But I think if you're like putting enough time into this, like, this is for you guys out there. If you're putting enough time out there, right, into these things, and you really believe in yourself, or you believe in what you're doing, and you think you need to put money into it to get money, go for it. The thing is, you're not going to ever make money out of it if you don't try. If it goes wrong, right? And if you're really struggling, I completely understand why you wouldn't want to do that. But until you do it, you're never going to know. And that's the problem that everyone has. No one just does it. And even I'm even like, I fell victim to that many a time where I've been like, oh, I could just do it, and I just don't. And then you regret it so quickly, because regret comes before anything. You know what I mean? You'll look down 5 years down the line, you'll see that someone done the exact same thing as you were going to do, and they made money.
I think like a good quote I've heard is like, if you don't miss a day, you never miss a lucky day. It's like, you never know, like, one day is wild clicks.
Exactly, and but it'll never click if you don't go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem, because a lot of people just don't go for it, and that's where everyone does fail, to be honest. It's definitely that, because it's not to do with like how smart you are, it's not to do with how fucking good on the feet you are, how good you are at physical work, it's to do with how willing you are to try. That's really it, you know what I mean? You could be I mean, if you think about it, right, all these like big entrepreneurs and that, they're probably not the smartest like tools in the fucking books, you know what I mean? They're like, most of them, like Elon Musk and that, he never even went to school or something, like, for like most of his life. He maybe went through primary school, high school, but he didn't go into like higher education or that. He's got nothing really to show for himself, but now he's one of the most
richest people in the world.
So it's like, and he just done it. That's all he done. He just done it. That's the difference. You know what I mean? That's why I get so annoyed when folk turn around to me and they're like, but it's so embarrassing when folk do this, folk do that. I'm like, but that's what's stopping you from making money, or that's what's stopping you from moving on in your life. It's people telling you you're embarrassing. Why do you listen to people calling you embarrassing? What does embarrassing even mean?
Exactly.
That's their perception to what you're doing, not your perception to what you're doing. So just stop listening to people and do your thing.
Rather be embarrassed and like make something of like yourself and that.
But the thing is, mate, that embarrassment only lasts
until you make it.
Exactly. And then they're like, oh my god, I wish I stayed friends with that. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to remember now, because later down the line, when they've been like that and then they come running back to you, you just tell them to fuck off. That's basically it, though. Like, you don't get to get walking all over, you don't get to talking to you like shit for that to be the way to go out anyway. But don't even know where that whole conversation came from. That just spurred it in nowhere. Like, we're talking about you in 5 years and suddenly we're talking about bloody making money online. Strange, man. Probably just needed to vent that out there. I don't know, man. But yeah, I feel like we've went over most of the stuff we probably would speak about. So I think we'll move on to the Instagram rewind bit. Is that alright with you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So Instagram rewind is actually turning into Facebook rewind again, because Aiden doesn't have any photos. which is fair enough, to be honest, because I know a lot of people don't post stuff
Just
online.
highlights.
Absolutely fair to me. But we have got this Facebook photo from 2015. He's looking like a real sound Donny in this one. What does this make you think about? Like, what's the whole fucking reasoning behind all this?
I remember Mum entered a competition to, like, you know, the wee boys who walk at the players. I was one of them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she won it, and I was one of them. So I got to met all the Chelsea players for, like, the game of the day. And I remember going into it, I was like absolute shit myself. I was like being all those players I looked up to like for ages, and he was like my favourite player like ever. So like when I met her, I was like, "You fanboy?" I didn't say anything, but I was like, "Hi."
It's just a wee fanboy moment with Eden Hazard.
That was great because I just got obviously met all the players, and then even like John Terry, he was the captain back then. He was like actually spoke to me and like had a conversation with him, like forced me to speak. I enjoyed it so much. I got to like, bring my brother and that down as well.
Oh, did you?
He's a Chelsea fan as well, so he enjoyed it a lot.
See, things like that are so great though, because you get like you get such an experience out of stuff like that you would never out of anything else. Well, how did you get put in a competition? Was it just like
Mum sort of, I was with Audi at the time, it was weird, but Mum just entered into it and she won it.
fair enough? Absolutely fair.
She was raging though because second place got her brand new Audi.
That's absolutely fair, man. Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a good little photo. Like, to be fair, you don't look. I mean, you definitely. It doesn't even look like you. To be honest, that's why I was so confused.
The quiff at the time.
A wee quiff game, like, nah, that's sick. But like, you get these little photos as well. Like, I love Instagram Rewind for the whole fact that like sometimes you find actual pictures of folk that are just like good memories. You know what I mean? Something like that's a good memory. Like, and the fact that was what almost 10 years ago.
I think it was 2014 when it actually happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so about 10 years ago, and you can still remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, you know what I mean? You remember these things and they stick with you. You would have been, what, 10 years old here?
Yeah.
Exactly, that's a fucking bit of time away, like. It's crazy, man. Crazy, but...
Crazy times flies.
Exactly. Crazy how much a globe the boy has. But we'll leave that there. Just a wee bit of rewind. We love the bit of rewind. It gives you a good little bit of backstory to the person we're talking to here. So anyway, I've got one last question for you, in the way that we end up Cold Wans every single time. And that is, have you got one quote or a motivational saying you could give to all the people out there that maybe help them throughout the day?
I think the one I said earlier, you don't miss a day, you won't miss a lucky day. So just keep going at what you're going at, and one day it might just happen for you.
Exactly that. I'm surprised you didn't say just do it, because literally the last 15 people said just do it. I was like, come on, like, give me that fucking promotion, bro. To be fair, that's a good bit of advice. Like, you need to just go for things nowadays. And it's such a dog-eat-dog world as well, because if you don't go for it, someone else will take that opportunity. So just go for it. I mean,
you never know what can happen.
Exactly. The worst thing that can happen is you have to start again. I mean, until there's money involved. Once there's money involved, maybe think about it a little bit more. But if it's just to do with like an opportunity, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you told me that like a year ago, I would never have done that.
Yeah.
Like, I know I wouldn't have. It took a certain type of mindset for me to get into to do something like this. And it's so easy as well. It's just a camera, two people just speaking about life. And that's something that I could never have imagined myself doing a year ago. Absolutely not.
It's like once you lock in, it's like you're at it.
I would have told you a year ago that would be the fucking most embarrassing thing ever if you had two people sitting in a room talking. Like, I'm actually not even looking. And that's why I like to speak about the things that used to happen in my life as well, because I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all fucking guru, blah, 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 but I went through a lot of experiences where I was the worst type of person. So, like, knowing that and being able to tell people not to be like that, it's great for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't be the way you are. Do what you want to do, but I'm just saying that once you get to like this kind of position in your life where you're not really caring about what people say, and you're happy to do anything and put it out there, you become a much happier and a much better person. It's just how it is.
Like in my opinion, that's really have fun, but work at the same time. Like.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was like when I went to Tenerife, for example. I'd come out, go for a fucking mad one, then come back and go to the gym. If you're big enough to, I saw this as well in what's his name, Daniel, can't remember his name. Daniel, I follow him on Instagram. And it was, if you're big enough to go out drinking, you're big enough to go and sweat it out. And I like that. That's good as well, because if you're going to go out and drink, I'm not saying that you go on holiday, you need to go and like exercise every single day or eat really healthy or that. That's not what I'm like. Don't even eat healthy at all on your holiday. Enjoy yourself. Just fitness. Don't do it either. Enjoy yourself. But if you're like the same type of person I am, and you usually go out and go to the gym every so often, do it. Like, don't let yourself fall from where you were because you're on holiday. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people will go on holiday, they'll come back, and then they'll just become lazy. And that's a really easy thing to do as well, because when you go into holiday, you do enjoy yourself. You do kind of switch off. You go into this mode where you go into holiday mode, which, again, fine. Do what you want to do. But don't remember where you came from. Keep to your roots. And when you come back, get back to grinding and get on it. It's the only thing I can tell you. I don't know why I added my little quote here, but I just thought I would. But yeah, how was your Cold Wans experience?
I enjoyed it very much. Yeah.
I think it's a good thing for a lot of people, like, that maybe struggle with confidence and stuff as well. Like, see coming out here, and then when you watch it back and you see yourself just talking in front of all these people, it's good. It's good for a lot of people, and it's the type of leap that I think a lot of people should take, because I think the one thing that folks struggle with is people.
Yeah.
And that is genuinely, I think, the only thing that a lot of people do struggle with, because people can be so horrible nowadays and so judgmental and so easy to blame, quick to blame, just easy to push you back. And that is definitely something that I know a lot of people struggle with, and it's the one confounding variable that stops people from doing what they want to do. And I know that's the case, because if not, everyone would be posting on social media. And that's just the facts, because there's ways to make money from it, so why would you not bother? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But folk are too worried about what people have to say. And what I'm trying to say to you is, stop worrying about what people have to say, because they don't matter. It's you. It's your life. Live your life the way you want to live it. If you don't do that, then you're never going to live. But yeah. You got anything else to add from here, Aiden?
I don't think so, no.
No? Well, then that'll be the closing to Cold Wans. I don't know what episode we're on anymore, because I don't even care. I just like to make the content, get it out to you guys, and have my guests have a good time, and get them confident, get them chatting, get that discipline going, you know what I mean? Get that ice bath. But yeah, I mean, that's it for us then. I'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Keep grinding on, and have a good day.